today we joined by Jordan Reeves. Jordan is an artist currently in his second year of San Diego State's MFA program. In addition, he has degrees in cognitive neuroscience, philosophy, and how many years were you in Mongolia?
2.
He spent 2 years in Mongolia working for the Peace Corps. And his work, he often distills very elusive feelings, emotions to do with memory into installations that use object relationships very inventively. So thank you so much for being here today, Jordan. So on this show, we don't just talk about what's up in our practice, we also make little fangirl card valentines to people we admire. And you've chosen to make your fangirl card to Tux and Fanny.
Yeah.
So can you just tell us, explain who they are and why you like them?
Explaining who they are is pretty difficult, but Tux and Fanny are the creation of Albert Berney, who is a Baltimore-based artist, film director, and I came across them through Instagram, where he basically has split up. It's a full-length feature, but on Instagram he's broken it down into a bunch of small shorts. So you can view it through Instagram, Tux and Fanny, or on Vimeo. There's the full-length feature, and they're just these two friends that live together, and I don't know. I think the reason that I'm drawn to them is, well, one, aesthetically, it's kind of based in this very retro 90s pixel art aesthetic, which I love. But also, they're just really caring and about each other and themselves and their environment, and kind of figuring out just how to exist in their environment. And Albert Berney is incredibly inventive, and I'm never bored by the way that he attempts to depict them. He constantly flips back and forth between this pixel art, and then the next scene will be entirely three-dimensional, might be made out of wood, or the next scene might be actual people wearing costumes of Tux and Fanny and acting out this continual narrative. So it just always keeps you on your toes. It's incredibly empathetic and emotional, but very simplistic, also very philosophical and funny, and has a lot of dark humor in it.
And what language do they speak in the video?
They speak Russian.
Okay, it sounded like Russian, but I couldn't
Yeah, which I don't know is this thing. I mean, there's a lot of absurdism in it, but that's one of the aspects that it just kind of fits that they would speak Russian, and I can't really explain why or whatever. But
so there's the feature-length film of it, but is he making more? Are the ones on the Instagram new? Or are they all from that feature?
They're all from the feature.
Oh, interesting.
So I think that it's good to be able to go onto Instagram to see and get a feel for whether or not it's a pretty distinct taste, but if you do like it, I would say certainly check out the full length, because you get nuances that you don't get by watching the short.
I will definitely watch the full length film.
Yeah, I think he has a couple of other films too that I haven't seen, but after watching Tux and Fanny, I'm interested.
So to give people a sense of your work, I wanted to ask you about a recent piece you did, and it's Untitled, but we'll show a picture of the installation of it for last semester, but can you just kind of walk us through the thought behind that piece, or how it started and how it progressed?
I mean, I think that it would make the most sense to talk about kind of what I was doing before, and that was kind of very, very much based in memory and thinking about how we remember, why we remember, specifically how objects elicit specific memories, what I think about when I see this pair of scissors, and how that differs between what you think about when you see that pair of scissors. And that's kind of led me to thinking about communication and how we communicate through objects, and if our understanding of objects is based in a very different personal narrative, how are we actually able to convey meaning,
Right.
So what is that baseline? And so I've been thinking a lot about communication, how that's possible, and the kind of the difficulties, but also the successes of it. And so that's where this piece was based out of was thinking about, I set a scene thinking about just like a place where communication takes place, and the dinner table, and I wanted to create a situation that implied a certain level of tension between two people, and kind of like the obstacles of communicating while also allowing some sort of release of that tension, which was happening for me underneath of the table.
Mm-hmm.
But then making a little bit more vague than that, and allowing for people to put in their own mind.
It's almost like, let's see, under the table or something with the speed.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually hard because, one, I didn't want to gender it at all. I wanted it to leave a little bit more vague than that, and just leave some more avenues for allowing access by the viewer.
Yeah, and like the objects themselves are like so beautifully like made, and they're very different processes. Like, how did you make like the utensils in the bowl, and then what is the liquid in the bowl?
The bowl is motor oil, is used motor oil.
Uh-huh.
So it has this like pungency to it. So again, just like trying to think about what would reinforce that feeling of tension. Like I wanted the liquid to be kind of repulsive, you know.
Mm-hmm. And has a history.
It has a history. Yeah. I went to Jiffy Lube and just showed up with it. Well, I initially called them and was like, hey, I need 2 or 3 gallons of used motor oil. And the first Jiffy Lube that I called said they couldn't do it. And then I called this other one, and this guy said he would. And so I immediately got in my truck and drove over there because I was like, I can't let this guy who said that he was
gonna leave. Yeah.
So I show up and I'm like, hey guys, like I've got my bucket, and the dude didn't know what I was talking about, and it turns out that they had like totally misunderstood what I was trying to do. But they were very kind and just went down underneath and got me some motor oil. But
nice. I always wonder why they have why would people say no? But I don't know. Sometimes you have to be there in person to be like.
Yeah, I mean it's a job, you know. I don't know. I don't want to like force people to do things they don't want to do, but
yeah.
I also needed to use motor oil, so I tried.
So did you melt together the utensils, or?
No, those were actually just like stacked.
Oh, so they are not stuck together.
No. So they're like stacked, and that was kind of a painful process of getting them to be able to stay like that. Which was part of it too, was that like potential for them to fall.
That meditative stacking makes me think of the piece that preceded it with the mark making.
Yeah, I think that somebody asked me during this last critique why I make all of those things. Like in that piece I made everything except for the silverware. And I think
yeah, why would you make the bowls? Those take forever. Right?
Exactly. I think that one, my background is in metalsmithing, so I kind of geek out on that stuff. But
yeah.
Also for me, making the objects allows me to kind of meditate in the emotional space of that piece for longer, and helps me to kind of resolve the other issues that I've been dealing with on the side of it. So by making everything, I just spend more time in that headspace, and hopefully it helps me to figure it out a little bit more.
Yeah, I get that. And you also said that you listen to the same type of music or no music, or do you listen to music while you're doing these things?
I do. I kind of obsessively listen to the same thing over and over, because a lot of my work is, the objects that I use are not intuitively associated, and so it helps me to choose those objects by, again, kind of existing in the same headspace for a while.
Yeah.
And so if I change up the music that I'm listening to, and I'm in a totally different emotional space, it's hard for me to create that consistency within kind of those abstract object associations.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do very much kind of obsessively listen to the same music over and over again.
Interesting. Yeah, and now I'm getting how performative and endurance, meditative practice, it is. I guess I assume that it makes such a difference that the forks aren't welded together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really interested in performance art. I like hate the idea of performing myself, but I really am interested in that line between sculpture and performance, and kind of, I don't think that this piece succeeded in that, but I love work that you walk up onto and you're not really sure if you walk onto something that is currently in process or has just ended or is about to start. Like, I like creating that potential for action. And I also like the implications that it suggests for the viewer's participation in the work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't really like making, or for me personally, I don't really like experiencing art that is just like me looking at object presenting itself to me. I like there to be some sort of relationship between myself and it, and that relationship being more of the work than the actual object.
Yeah.
Kind of like borrowing from the relational aesthetics, I guess.
Yeah, and I would kind of like disagree that it didn't succeed in that way, because as soon as I saw the feet, even through, I haven't seen it in real life, I saw it through photos, I like could see all the care and like the work for molding the feet.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that endurance thing was definitely in the feet. And I mean, the other objects are so beautiful. I knew there was a ton of craft. The bowls, for sure, I knew that had to take forever. And even the silver, I knew it took forever the first time, but for every time, that's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think for me the most difficult part was, because I built the table and then I upholstered the table in denim.
Oh, that's what I wanted to ask about the table.
Yeah, so I got some large rolls of denim, and I bleached it.
Oh.
So,
because it looks like the to-go stuff.
Oh yeah, somebody else said that.
Yeah.
That's really funny. I like that never entered my mind, but yeah, so I like bleached a large portion of it, and then I made the template to like sleeve the legs, and then I kind of like painted on the bleach so that it would have that ombre to it. Again, I just wanted that feeling, like a kind of claustrophobic feeling of like everything being sucked in by this denim. But then putting the denim on this like rounded edge of a dinner table and stuff, like that was really, I didn't know how to do that. So it took me a while, and especially like when you use bleach on denim, it degrades the like structural integrity of the material, so it kept ripping on me. It's just like,
and so underneath it, that's denim as well.
yeah, so I made that rug out of the denim that I used. Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, it's such a smart choice for the indigo, or like that deep blue.
Yeah. So it's all the same material.
Oh, wow. Okay, so like, where are you going to show this piece again? You have to so we can see it in person.
I don't know. I would love to show it.
We'll figure it out. People on Instagram, if you have ideas, please, or YouTube in San Diego, please let us know, because there's totally spaces.
Yeah, this piece was interesting for me. I think it like definitely took a turn. I was trying to very consciously work from a different place, being that as you mentioned, I had my background is in philosophy and cognitive neuroscience, and I think up until this point I've approached art in a very
Oh wow! So sculptural, of course.
And because of that, I think it's because of that background, and I also have a very I'm very obsessive and have my ways, but have approached work in the past of this is a problem that I want to investigate. This is how I'm going to investigate it, and this is the visual representation of that experiment or investigation. And so I wanted to try to break free of that a little bit and just open up for more potential. And so I wanted to keep the things that I've been thinking about going, but kind of running parallel to the work, and work from just a more kind of intuitive, gut-based decision-making process. And because I think that what happens, at least for me, when you make from a very strategized perspective like that, is that it takes out, well, one, the potential for new things to arise, but also my work has been like just very kind of sterile and cerebral and like interesting, but it doesn't have that like punch of like the emotional impact, or, like the human aspect of it. So I wanted to see if working from this perspective that I was able to imbue a little bit more of that into it.
I think it's a really smart, like, way, because I think it's more an act of like trusting yourself, because it's in there, like those ideas, and just letting yourself, like, it's not going anywhere, even if you act more intuitively,
Right. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
And it is not to say that like whatever you're reading or thinking about isn't like in there. It's just not as like explicit.
Right. It's not linear. It's just you.
Yeah, and I mean that allows for more of an interesting experience for the viewer, I think, in terms of allowing them to kind of, put whatever they want. Yeah, I don't really have expectations in terms of what I want the experience to be with the viewer.
Another kind of like, I would categorize it as meditational, but you can like challenge me on that, is your, are they daily, the painting, collage, drawing pieces, you call them your views on things on Instagram?
Yeah.
Like, how is that practice incorporated into your life?
I mean, it's daily. I do those things just kind of like whenever I have downtime. So whenever I'm out, I'm constantly taking photos, but I never take photos of specific things. I don't want to say never, but infrequently. And what I'll typically do is like, if you're in a certain space, you like, sometimes you just feel a certain way, and you don't know why a space is making you feel that way. So I'll like take up just a like large photo of that space, and then later I'll go back and like zoom in and try to like figure out what it was about that space that was making me feel a certain way. And in that, it helps me to understand how objects communicate a little bit more refined. And so with the like drawings, I just found a way to take those photographs and then, I don't know, have like small like interventions or glitches or just my immediate response to that space. And so I try to think that they're like kind of like potato chips, I just like,
interesting, potato chips.
they're like little I don't really like talk about them that much, just because they're kind of like, I don't know, spontaneous, and I've gotten in trouble for calling them spontaneous because they're so like minimal and calculated.
And analytical.
But they feel that way to me. They feel like it's just quick and just a way to get myself looking at how objects relate to one another and how those things make me feel, and then I put my 2 cents on it. And then,
like they each stand alone, but then it's like they are more delicious when you do like swipe a collection of them.
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like comic books, Like I love reading comics, and it's like a comic book versus like a kind of like intense academic literature or something like that, where it's like sometimes I just want to like sit down and actually enjoy myself.
Yeah.
Not that other stuff can't be enjoying, but I don't know.
But their endurance is like part of the piece, so they are, endurance things. So, but have you thought about would you be interested in exhibiting them? Are they only meant to be exhibited on Instagram? Have you like thought about that part of them yet, or?
I really haven't. I think that they lend themselves well to digital presentation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as interested in them as like physical objects. So thinking about what it would mean to present them in some sort of way, I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
If people are interested in them, I could think about that more. But they kind of, I like them as do you know Ray Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
He is this kind of eclectic guy in the 50s, 60s, 70s. And he started the New York School of Communication, which he did a bunch of mail art, and included a bunch of the contemporary Soho artists. But he had these things that he called modicos, and they're basically just the idea that there are these small moments that happen in your daily life that are kind of transcendent, and they're just tiny. And his view was that like, you shouldn't interrupt them. You know, it might just be like the way a shoelace has fallen over the other shoelace or something like that, but you just like feel it and it's like potency. But they're ephemeral, and you should just let them be. And I kind of like thinking about those drawings or those like little meditations as that. Like they're just kind of like, they're there in that moment for me, and then it's just gone.
You've recently decided to take a break from Instagram, which I think is something a lot of people can relate to. And like, so can you just talk about that decision and maybe like Instagram your art practice or whatever?
Yeah, totally. I'm a super obsessive person, and it's really hard for me to do anything in moderation. And so, you know, social media is one of those things that can very quickly kind of take over. We were talking about how I'm starting to focus more on communication. In thinking about that, I've been thinking, you know, of how all of the platforms that we have available to us to communicate to people, and what those different platforms allow for us to communicate on each of them, because I think that each one is unique in its capacity to communicate certain things most effectively. I love Instagram. I think that Instagram is an amazing way for especially artists or creatives to kind of give an insight. And I mean, for me personally, I don't know about you, but like most of the time I'm far more interested in your thought process getting to a final piece than I am the actual final piece itself. I think that that's more informative for me to learn how to think in a different way that would be helpful for me in the future. Instagram allows for us as creatives to be able to give that type of insight. And you know, I kind of always go back and forth with like, I don't really take my Instagram that seriously, which I think is very clear by looking at it.
Maybe it's smarter to go to snail mail because you'll have physical record keeping. And they say we're in a dark age of digital, like all this info, there's too much, it's going to be lost.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know. I mean, it's just like there really is nothing better than getting something that's handwritten. You know, like there is that level of intimacy with the person on the other side of it that that's really difficult to achieve digitally. I think you can do it, but I'm not great at it. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just like I'm getting older and nostalgic. And
No,
I love that.
I think the reasoning is well thought out. Yeah, I get that. And it is such a, like there's so much inspiration on there, but it is such a suck too. Like,
it's really hard. Yeah, I mean there's so many geniuses working right now and presenting their work on Instagram, and it's like, I could spend all day looking at this, you know.
Oh, finally. So your advancement show is this spring, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
April.
And are you going to have it open to the public or not?
Can you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, then yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, I'm always looking for people's opinions and insights, and I think that it's just only can be helpful, you know, to have other people look at your work and tell you what they feel. They find things that you've never thought about, and yeah, I'm always open to it.
Okay, well you heard it here, folks. In April at SUSU, you'll be able to see Jordan's work in person. And do you have anything else? You're going to be in Finland this
Yes, I will be at Finland this summer, so if any of you guys are interested in taking a raising workshop with Adam Whitney, who is a very dear friend and mentor of mine. He's one of the best in the country and an amazing teacher, so I'll be assisting him. I think it's the third week in July. You can look it up. Session 5. Again, to plug Albert Remi, I think that he's a genius, and I think that Tux and Fanny are the friends that we all need right now while the world is kind of falling apart. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I appreciate you. If you watch the